All right, here we are again. I just finished up the setup on this block here. Now I'm going to show you how to use the next one over. It's called facing. So I'll open that one up. Close my data panel, give me some more room here. So this is called a facing operation. It says right up at the top here, right underneath your browser, what operation you're basically supposed to be doing here. So again, like I mentioned in the last video, everything starts with a setup. Mine is good. It's right where I want it because I set my default last time. Double check my stock size. Post processor I don't have to worry about anymore, and I'll click OK. So my setup is good to go. Facing operations are basically an initial cleanup of the material. You may have gotten a raw material or a piece of this cut on a bandsaw or a metal cutting saw, something like that. That doesn't leave you with a very nice surface. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean up this top surface with a tool. Before we do that, we need to bring the tools into Fusion 360. So I'm going to come over here to my Manage tab in my tool library, and under Local, I'm going to right click and import a tool library. Mine happens to be on the desktop. It's right here. It's called pltw.hsmlib. You need to get that from me on a flash drive and put it onto your desktop. So I'll click that and I'll open it. And there you go. Now you can see I have a whole bunch of them. So you're going to close that one out. So there's PLTW, PLTW version 1, and PLTW. You can see they're all the same tool library. Some of you in your hand GNM coding, you use like tool 11 or tool 2 or tool 1. That just tells the machine and the CNC motion program which tool you're using, and it describes that tool. So for example, this tool 2 right here, or excuse me, tool 9 that I'm going to use as my face mill, I can come in here and edit this. I can edit the sizes of it, the diameters of it, flute lengths. I can edit all kinds of things about it. For what you need to worry about, you don't need to worry about this. So as long as you have this tool library in here, you should be good to go for this. So I'm going to come here under my 2D operations. It's a 2D operation because it's only going to work in two directions. It's not going to cut in the third direction. So it's only going to cut going in the X or Y direction. It won't cut in the Z. If you want to cut in the Z direction as well, you need to use a 3D toolpath, or 3D 3D toolpath. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go down to face. Now I see I have this dialog box that pops up with all this information. First thing we'll do, again, work from the left tab down and on your way over to the right and down. I'll show you some of this you don't need to worry about. Some of it you will. For coolant, I'm going to disable that. My tool, I'm going to select from the library. Come on. I'm going to select from the library tool 9. It's a 3/4 inch flat end mill, and I've named it sort of here with PLTW has named it the face mill. So I'll select that. Speeds and feeds for this you don't really need to worry about because we're not actually machining anything, we're just simulating it. Geometry. This is where you would pick and choose and tell the machine what to cut. For now, stock selection, I'm just going to click on that line. Heights, I will pretty much leave those alone. If I needed to, I could adjust my height. My cutting height would be the blue one. My retract height, I believe, is the green one, and my clearance height is my orange one. That's how far up and down the tool moves in its rapid movements versus its plunge cutting movements. Passes, I can pretty much leave this alone. My step over, I might want to change to 50% of the tool diameter, but for now, because we're only simulating, I think we can leave this alone. Make sure that stock to leave is something that's been unchecked. Stock to leave, if I check that, it will leave 4/1000 of an inch of material on top, and I don't really want to do that right now. We don't typically do that in the course of this class. A professional machinist would do that, and then they would go back with another tool at a maybe faster spindle speed or a faster feed rate to get a better surface finish. My linking tab, this tab here has to do with your moving of the tool into the work and then moving the tool out of the work. For now, for this, I'm just going to leave it kind of alone and see what we get. So I'll press OK, and we get this wonderful series of lines here. It looks like a snake going across the top. Each section of line has a different color. They mean different things. Your yellow is your lead in and lead, or excuse me, your yellow is your rapid movements. That's your G01, excuse me, G00 in your G codes. So the machine can move as fast as it wants, as fast as it can in those yellow lines. The green lines are where it's not cutting material, but it's moving the same speed as if it was cutting material. And the blue lines represent where it's actually engaging in cutting the material. This line represents the center of the tool and the spindle. So in the last video I talked about simulation. I'm going to go ahead and click simulate. I get a new box. I'm going to make sure that stock is checked off. I'm going to make sure that tool path is checked off. And I'm going to make sure that the tool is checked off. So I want to see all three of these things. Now I'm going to come down here to this play button. My speed, I'm going to slow down a little bit so you get a better view of it. I'm going to start the simulation. Maybe I'll speed that a little bit. Okay, you can see how exactly where the tool is going to go to remove a tiny bit of material off of this piece of work here. Now, we spoke earlier about jigs and fixtures. It would not be a good idea to have a piece of a jig or a piece of a fixture anywhere near where this tool is going to move. So this is why it's nice to set this up and simulate it. You can kind of see that if I was going to hold on to this, I would want to be holding on to it like, you know, down here or over here on the sides. I wouldn't want my vise sticking up above this workpiece. Sticking up above the workpiece where it's going to get hit by this mill. And close my simulation and save it. And I'm done. This is what I need to see. I need to see a screenshot of this to turn in this operation. That's how you'll turn it in. Use your snipping tool, new snip, and I'm just going to screenshot the whole thing. And there we go. That's what you'll turn in. So I hope it's a little bit longer of a video because I had to go through the tool library stuff. But the next one will be hopefully a little faster because we can just go ahead and pick our tool. So let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this video helps out.